be surprising to many. Today, we have already 48% in Egypt, 48% of the mobile traffic is already video.
Exactly. This is actually what happened during the revolution. I mean, people started becoming reporters, and they were documenting everything that was happening in the streets using their mobile phones. So the mobile was not just to communicate, they were actually, when the internet stopped, the first 2 days of the revolution, people were using their mobiles to record everything that was happening. And this actually, this is the case in many countries that witnessed or experienced the Arab Spring, and that is still the case in Syria, for example. I mean, there, the media is barred, the reporters cannot go there and film what's going on, so the people are using their mobiles to document what's going on there.
Yes.
So how do you see the coming generation in the future of mobile phones?
Well, to your point, everyone will become a reporter.
Everyone is already a reporter now.
Yes, everyone can just point. Everyone can point their devices. And what's interesting about that, there is something. There is a new phrase being coined. It's called the Gigabyte Club. So what is that? So the Gigabyte Club are people that generate the amount of 1 gigabyte of data per month. That's a lot. So a gigabyte is 1,000 megabytes. It's really a lot. And the only way you can really generate that is through videos. So if you are somewhere with your mobile device and you record what you see, and others around the world can see it. Today we have, out of the 3 billion mobile devices we have, 0.5% of the users are part of that Gigabyte Club, 0.5%. In 2015, we expect that to go to 60%. Just think about that. So it's from 0.5 to 60% of 3 billion users. So that's really driving a lot of the traffic. So I think the change is how you use the mobile devices, becoming a reporter. But there's another element to it. The younger generation is also less security concerned. If they take their mobile device to work, as I said before, they expect to be able to use their mobile device to work there, and also access data from the company, and at the same time being connected to friends, and which is creating a security risk.
Exactly. Everything has its own negative aspects, and my son told me that he heard from a friend of his that someone was in class and used his mobile phone to record the abuses of the teacher. I mean, she was sort of insulting another child or something, and they used it against her, and they went to the principal and they showed him the video. So this is, of course, positive thing, but it's still, everything has its own positive and negative aspects. You were just talking about that.
So the younger generation takes connectivity for granted. So they are willing, we did a study, 7 out of 10 people are willing to break an IT policy just to have access to the internet. So it's not about setting up IT policies, but it's about building the network infrastructure that allows to keep data secure. And in the past, you would just look at what's coming into a company's network, like spyware and spam and so on. But now what companies need to do, they need to see what's going out. Because with everyone using their own devices, being connected, they need to also check what's going on. What's very interesting in terms of positive news, we used to have, over the last 10 years at least, we had a large increase in spam, like unwanted email.
Exactly.
The last year, for the first time, the amount of spam emails went down. It went down to 1/3. And that's pretty dramatic. After years and years rising, it went down to 1/3 of the messages. But that's also that some of the cyber criminals are moving away from trying those mass email attacks. They now focus mobile devices. So people need to be aware, or the networks around them need to be aware that they can block some of those activities. So that's driving a lot of investment also across the industry, and it's driving a lot of innovation as well, where you essentially combat the same way that you have antivirus and other software being developed to combat not only spam but also viruses. The same way now there's an industry building security around networks.
Okay, very interesting.
Mr. Krahmer, sometimes when I sit thinking about the technology and the breakthroughs that are taking place in our world today, I ask myself, what could be next? What could be the next development in the field, for example, of mobile technology, as we are talking about this issue today?
Yeah.
What could be the next breakthrough? What else do we need?
In IT in general, not only in mobile.
So there's a famous saying which says, the future is already here, it's just not evenly distributed. What that means is that some of those innovations, for example, when the internet was invented, it was out there for quite some time before anyone saw it and saw the usefulness. So I would say that a number of those inventions are out there already, but it's just not yet being used.
Sometimes it is said at the intelligence services, the words intelligence services, they have the latest technology before they appear to the public.
They sometimes do.
Yes.
They sometimes do, yeah. And for me, one of the big breakthroughs is video. I mean, it sounds very normal to us, but the way you use video. So many of us know Skype, where you can communicate with people around the world, but I'm talking about really high definition video quality. And this is moving from companies who use it in a professional studio type of setting. Some call the technology telepresence, which is very, very successful around the world. And now with this becoming a standard, people want to be able to connect to that also from the road. So they use their tablets and their mobile phones to connect to a professional high-definition quality video. And as we know that a lot of the interaction happens through facial expressions. If you do a negotiation, if you try to do that on the phone, it typically doesn't work very well. But if you see the video and if you see it in high definition, it's very effective. So I would say video is one of the big innovations in the way it will be used. It's out there already, but the way it will be used will really change a lot.
Improving its quality, you mean?
Improving the quality, but also the accessibility. So that you could connect to your friends who are anywhere in, say, in Paris, and they want to show you the Eiffel Tower, and then you can interact with them. But also, when you are on vacation and then you want to connect back to the business or to business partners, being able to do that seamlessly, without having to worry about what do I have to dial and so on. It's just with a one click you're connected, and that's it. So this is one of the areas that I see. Then obviously the devices itself will become more and more powerful. One of the trends also which we have to watch out for is, when I mentioned before, the younger generation that takes connectivity for granted. We just saw a study that shows that because of the younger generation being a little bit less careful about how they connect and what they do, that before the time they reach 30, about 4 out of 10, their identity will be stolen. Someone impersonating them. It's like someone getting your password from Facebook and then pretending to be you. And that, a lot of the activities, when I said that the amount of spam is going down, there's more cyber criminals who are trying to get to somebody's identity. Which again is, in terms of the innovation, a lot of the innovations will actually happen behind the scene to protect people.
Security concerns again.
It's the security which is much, much more important now, because we do everything. We do mobile banking. We do everything through the mobile device. So the whole topic of security is one which needs to be taken very seriously.
Well, Mr. Olaf Krahmer, a communication systems expert, thank you very much for giving us all this new information. It's been very joyful and delightful having you with us here in the studio. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you. And now let's take a break and go to some light news with Dylan Mamdouh. We'll be right back to discuss the second topic of today, so stay with us.